Now, you guys know that I am really into poetry. I write my own, and I like reading. I like reading a lot of poetry too. And two of my favorites, Rumi is one. You guys have seen me quote Rumi a lot in the community section, and the other is Hafiz. Hafiz and Rumi are both from ancient times. Um, Probably around like the 1600s. They're about 300 years apart. So somewhere between the 13 and 1600s is their lifespan. So they were both mystics, very spiritual men, and they wrote a lot about love. If I'm correct, they're both from the Sufi tradition, and the Sufi tradition is all about divine love. It's a very beautiful philosophy, from what I've read so far. So Hafiz wrote this the other day. Well, he didn't write the other day. I saw it the other day. He wrote it like 400 years ago. And I'm going to read it to you and then tell you my thoughts about it because it really touched me. These things really touch me. So let me do the introduction. I'm Queen Osset Haru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and pass it to anybody and everybody else that might like it too. Please leave us a positive comment in the comment section and stick around to the end of the video because I'm going to read some positive comments from previous videos and talk about them. If you would like to get a reading done, if you would like to chat with me, if you would like to check out my Patreon, any of those things, that information is underneath this video. Okay, so let's get started. So this is Hafiz. It's very short, so I'm just going to read it and then give you my opinion about it. Hafiz says, even after all this time, the sun never says to the earth, you owe me. Look what happens with a love like that. It lights the whole sky. So what I love about this when I first read it, and I thought about people, I thought about this in relationship to people, family members, spouses, children, friends. And what I thought about when I read this was the you owe me part. A lot of times people do things for you, or you might do things for people, and then you expect from them. You expect them to do things for you. You expect them to give you things. It might be money. It might be time. It might be rides. How many times have people, or maybe even you, watched somebody's kids, and then when you need a babysitter, they can't be bothered? Things like that. So a lot of times people give with the expectation that the other person will give back. Now, I don't see anything wrong with that. As a matter of fact, that is how it should be. It's called reciprocity. So if you do things for me, not necessarily tit for tat, but I'm not going to, like, if somebody is there for me and they give me things or they look out for me, when I can look out for them, I'm going to give that same energy back. It might not be tit for tat. It might not be at the exact same time, I'll give you an example. I have an aunt. I love this aunt. All my life, this aunt looked out for me. And at a point in my life, I was not making a lot of money, not even enough money, put it like that. And I had a house, I had my daughter, and money was really tight. Every Christmas and every birthday, so twice a year, my aunt would send me money or a gift for my birthday and Christmas. But I never had enough to send anything back, maybe a card or something like that, but I didn't really have that kind of money. So for years this went on, and then finally I started to have more money. So when I started to have more money, I started to send her gifts. every, birthday and Christmas. And I always send her something as nice as I can possibly afford at that moment. And she said to me the other day for Christmas, I sent her a painting. And she said, "You always think about me." And I was thinking to myself, because you always thought about me. Even when I didn't have, like even now, I'll tell her, I'll be like, if you don't have any money, because some of the time she spends it on whatever, she's older now. And I'm like, if you don't have money, don't worry about sending me a gift. And I mean that, because when I didn't have, you sent me, you looked out for me. And she wasn't sending thousands of dollars, but she would send me $5 for a drink, or a little gift at Christmas time, a makeup kit, something like that. She would give me little things. And now that I'm, in a better financial space, I always look out for her. So reciprocity is a good thing, but notice that she never said to me, "You owe me," at any point in time. She just kept giving and giving and giving and didn't expect anything in return. Now she's shocked. She's always shocked because I always give her, something. It's something nice, and she's always shocked when she gets it, because I never tell her it's coming. I wait until they're about to deliver it and I'm like, open the door, So she never said, "You owe me," or asked me, or looked for a handout. Nothing. Even when she was doing not so great herself, But I always give back because I remember that now. So my point is that reciprocity is a good thing, but it should come from your heart. It comes from my heart. It comes from my spirit. It comes from me appreciating that she looked out for me when nobody else really did. Or I shouldn't say nobody. Everybody didn't. Certain people always looked out for me. But in our family, she always looked out for me. She always had something for me. And I wasn't even looking for anything, But it was important to her and it became important to me. So that reciprocity I do think is important, but I think it has to come from a person's heart. And the way that they said it here, Hafiz said, look what happens with a love like that. Look what happens when you don't tell people that they owe you. Look what happens when you give from your heart. Look at what happens. It lights up. That love lights up the entire sky. Now, I'm not suggesting to people that you go out and just give things to anybody and everybody, But if your spirit and your heart moves you, more than likely, that's a sign from the divine. Go ahead and give to that person, And don't expect them ever to be able to give back. So only give what you can afford to give, Only give what's comfortable, Some people will tell you to give till it hurts. Give from a comfortable amount. If you have $10 and you give somebody $2, that was really generous because you only got $10, So I think that that's really important. So when I saw this, this saying by Hafiz, it really touched me because I think I see that with a lot of people. I even see this with couples. I'll have a couple come to me and the husband will say, "Well, I always put gas in the car and I always do this and I always do that. The least she can do is X." But my thing is that you didn't ask her to do X, number one. She doesn't know what you want from her. And when she does make a contribution, you don't like it. Basically, because she was telling me that when she does try, like, for instance, he wants her to do what he wants her to do. So he feels like if I do XYZ, she should do what I want her to do. And I'm like, that might be reasonable, but you have to articulate to her what you want her to do, number one. And number two, I would never expect it. So here we have this husband constantly telling his wife, "You owe me because I put out the trash." You owe me because I changed the oil in your car. You owe me because I put gas in your car. You owe me because I picked up your dry cleaning, whatever, you know? And he's like constantly, no matter what he does for her, he's like, you owe me. And she was telling me, it makes me want to tell him, don't do anything. like don't do anything. I'll just do it myself. If I gotta owe you and then you get mad about it and then I gotta hear it for a month, then don't even do it. I'll just do it myself, you know? So that you owe me aspect of it is where I see a problem, especially with a couple. That's why I said it shouldn't be tit for tat. You know, if your significant other is not being reciprocal, okay, that is a conversation that you should have, but you shouldn't be keeping score. If it's a difference, a big difference, like for example, if he was always doing things, always putting out the trash every week, getting her gas every couple days, cleaning out the, you know, whatever, you know, if he was always doing things and she didn't do anything ever, then I would be like, well, your relationship isn't reciprocal, you know? But also I would say that this is not a situation where I would be keeping score, keeping a scoreboard. Like, I did this today, I did this yesterday, I did this last week, and you now need to do 4 things for me. You know? And that's where the problem comes in. You do things out of your heart because you care about the person. And if the person and you have a mutual relationship, they will do things back because they care about you. But it should come from their heart. It shouldn't come from a place of guilt, you know, or because you said you owe me. I never tell a person they owe me, even when they owe me. I never tell them that. It's like, if you can't figure that out, then this relationship is not mutual and I should not be in it. And I've come to find in my lifetime, whenever I have done this, this has not turned out well. I know this woman, right? And every time this woman had a question or needed some help, she would inbox me. And every time I would help her. And we're talking about 4 or 5 years of this going on. One day, I needed something. It had been 5 years. I had never needed anything, you know, and I needed something. And I did not ask her for it, but I was telling her in the conversation what I needed. It was very small. And she said to me, "Oh, you'll be all right." Really? You damn sure right. I'm going to be all right. So I, in that moment, realized where I made my mistake. I was expecting her to give back the way I gave her. I'm here for her. I'm reliable for her. I'm a friend to her. I'm a support system to her. So when I need support, she's going to give me support. Because she's selfish and she doesn't feel like she needs to. So that was my bad, because I was the one who gave with the expectation. So after that, I stopped giving her my time. Unless it's something, you know, that she pays me for, because she pays me to do readings sometimes. But if it's not paid, I don't even respond to her, because I realized that I was giving to her because I expected her to give back. And that's not a good space to give from. I give just to give, or I don't give at all. So remember, when you're dealing with people, that this could definitely be helpful. All right, guys, let's take a look at today's positive comments. So the first one is, let's see, it would be underneath here. Number 1 is from Crazy Star. Hey, Crazy Star. Crazy Star said, Aquarius is always cautious with the Cancer around. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. I'm not the kind of person that won't deal with somebody because of their sun sign. I think that's a mistake. But when certain signs are around, I am a little bit more cautious. That is a very true statement. And Cancer is the number one sign that I'm cautious around, because I have had enough interactions with them that when they're high vibrational, we're good. But when they're low vibrational, I've had enough interactions with them to know to watch my back. You know, with a low vibrational Cancer, you have to watch your back. With the higher vibrational ones, a lot of them are really sweet and nurturing. But them lower vibration ones that cut your throat, man, you got to be really careful. All right, let's see my second one. This one comes from Miss Bridges. Hi, Miss Bridges. Miss Bridges said, I agree with everything you have said about the cashier. I used to be one. So I know about drawers coming up short. My drawer did once, but it was only 10 cents. Okay. But a banker had done that, and I give the money back. I do believe in karma also. Yeah, if you're dealing, this is, I had talked about when a cashier gives you back too much money. When you're dealing with a cashier and their drawer comes up short, they can be fired in some cases, or they have to pay it back. So if they accidentally gave me too much change, I would definitely have them recount because of that. I don't want somebody to have to pay back money or get fired because of a mistake, you know? So I would definitely have them recount it. All right, guys, that was the last one. You come back soon because I got a lot more to say. See you later.